Have you ever felt frustrated with someone else's actions only to realize later that your reaction was half the problem? Let's talk about taking responsibility for your half. So, grab your smoothie or cup of tea and join the conversation. Let's go. Hey there, welcome to How to Be Fit Over 40 Midlife Conversations with Hicunni. So, we talk about taking responsibility for your half, which means your part, focusing on what you can control. That's your actions, your emotions, your response, rather than trying to control or change the other person. Now, this is inspired by Don Miguel Ruiz teachings, which reminds us that we are only responsible for our own energy, not how others react to it. I remember a time when I found myself very, very frustrated in a conversation with a friend. And so I felt that I wasn't being heard. And I was, of course, ready to blame them for not understanding what I was saying. But instead of reacting emotionally, I took a step back and asked myself, what part of the situation do I need to own? And I realized that my tone and my expectations were contributing to the tension. It was me, it was my part. So I shifted my focus inward and just learning how to express myself more clearly. Just rephrasing things and just letting go of the need to have that specific response. You have something already built in your head, something that you're looking for, and then when you don't get the response that you were looking for, you get upset, get all in your feelings. But just remember, take a step back, pause, and just regroup. All right. So just that small change can help diffuse the situation and did help diffuse my situation. And then we ended up having a much deeper, more meaningful conversation. So a lot of times we have to look and see what part is our responsibility. What part do we play in whatever the conversation or whatever the thing is? And just stop trying to control others and taking ownership of our own actions and our emotions. And that way we can experience more peace, more clarity, and stronger relationships. So today I ask, okay, what is your half in a challenging situation that you may have right now? And how can you take responsibility for it? So just think about that for a moment. All right. So while you're thinking, last week you had some homework. So did you focus on your affirmations? If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back to the previous episode, listen, and you can come back. But if you did, I want you to text me at 864-406-9109 and let's chat about it. So before we get into more of the action, we're going to share a note from our sponsor. So this podcast episode is sponsored by what I mentioned before, the guy that I mentioned, Don Miguel Ruiz. And so there's a book that talks more about your part, and it's called The 4 Agreements. And so I'll leave the link in the show notes. I am an affiliate of Amazon. So anything that you purchase, I do earn a commission. So thank you in advance. The book is awesome. You can go the cheaper route to get a 3-part set, and it's 2 other books that are included. So once you click on the link, you'll see all the details. All right, so let's get to it. So the main thing, let's make the main thing the main thing. So there's 3 tips. So the first one is to pause and reflect. So when your emotions rise, take a moment to assess what part of the situation is within your control. And then number 2, you want to shift from blaming others. All right? So replace "they made me feel" with "I felt this way because." Because a lot of times it's us. We can't control people's response, but we can control our response. That's the whole point of this podcast, just to bring that to your attention that we are responsible for our own emotions, our own feelings. And then number 3, you're going to practice accountability. Apologize when necessary and take steps to correct your actions. So if you need to say, you know what, it was on me, I do apologize. Don't be afraid or too prideful to apologize and take the next steps to correct your actions. So I want you to share how embracing this principle has helped you feel more empowered and less reactive. Now, we're going to relate this to midlife challenges where self-awareness can lead to healthier relationships because that's what we want, right? We want to be more aware of what's going on so we can have better relationships with people. So over the next week, I want you to identify one recurring frustration and reflect on your part, your half. I want you to practice taking ownership of your role and see how it changes the situation. Thank you for listening. And I encourage you to go ahead and subscribe and rate and share. Let people know that you've been listening to this awesome podcast, and so they can listen as well. Now, next week, we're going to explore forgiveness and how it can set you free. So stay tuned. Until next time, nutrition is more than what you eat and the weight that you carry. Bye for now.